Yes, what it do, everybody out there? It's your girl Annie B, and welcome to Speak On It, Chop It Up Barbershop Talk. I am your host. If you ever want to get in contact with me, just hit me up at www.whatsyourfade.com or on all platforms at What's Your Fade. Okay? Yes, today we got a good show. Today we have my main man in the building, my main man Tony Gramz up in this BI. You know what I'm saying? The comedian to be. You know what I'm saying? This is what he do. So introduce yourself right quick, Tony. What's up?
What's good? It's Tony Gramz up in here saying what's good today. Been waiting about a month to come here.
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, yeah.
Gotta tell some jokes and shit. You
yeah.
feel what I'm saying?
Just ready to do this shit.
Can't even tell some jokes, man. Tell us a little bit about you, man. What brings you out? You know what I'm saying? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? What part of the city and everything? Let the people
I
know.
was born and raised in Midtown, West LA area. All my life here. My whole family's from Detroit, so I was like kind of raised on that Midwest type.
Yeah.
My whole family's from Gary, and my dad's side is from Gary. Mom's side from Detroit. They all came out here. Moved to West LA, Mid City in the late 70s. I was born in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, I was into music, did a lot of music, like about 20 years, and shifted, not really right away, but after I took a little break, then after a while I was like, kind of, fuck it.
Right.
Jumped into comedy.
Look, where's Mike Epps from? He's from
Gary.
Gary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You got some. Hey,
Yeah.
it's in your blood, man.
Yeah,
It's
Michael
in your
Jackson
blood.
from Gary.
Yes.
Freddie Gibbs from Gary.
Yeah, you got some good people down there from Gary. You know what I'm saying?
It's a gang of Gary people. Like,
That's super dope. I mean, like, so do you believe that this was like a part of your like? This is what you wanted to do, like as a kid.
As a kid, probably no, but I did because I always like rapping and music. So, and it was like once I got good in that and kind of with shows and shit was going well, and
Right.
it was cool. But after a while, it was like I was in a group, and then when you're in a group, it's kind of like you gotta. It's too much compromise, and it's like almost like I'm compromising with shit that I shouldn't be.
Right.
And then after that, it was a certain shit to where I just was like, I don't even feel like really making music, like
Right. So
half-assed
what kind of music did you make? Did you make rap music?
It was like rap, but it wasn't just like wasn't gang shit. It wasn't like some old dictionary type shit. It was just that was kind of the compliment people used to get of like a collection of like everything. It wasn't like it was girl songs, party shit.
Right.
And that was people used to say like I had the Lloyd Banks Jada type.
Oh,
because
shit.
I was more on a punchline.
Right.
Say something and make sure what you saying sound.
Yeah.
You ain't got it don't no mumble shit or that was way before that type shit.
Right. What do you think about rap today, though?
I mean, if I'm. People can say, "Oh, you old," and you can say shit. If you say shit is trash, but there are a lot of trash people. But it's not everything isn't trash because it's dudes that are younger than the people that are called trash are.
Right.
And they like 10 times better than probably niggas my age that are trying to keep up with the younger niggas that are trash.
Right.
So it's like it's not an age thing. It's like you can keep rapping until you're a certain age, but once you start doing silly shit or shit you shouldn't be doing at that age, then you look dated.
Right.
Like leather wave caps and bandanas on your hats.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but other than that, I just saw I don't know. It's just this. I mean, people do what they do. It's a different time, so shit is different.
Right.
You don't understand everything if you ain't really in there and in the streets doing shit. So there's certain shit that's good and certain shit that shouldn't even be out, but.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just mixing up rap today and then with the comedy, you know what I mean? I mean, would you feel like you could have did a Jamie Foxx type of movement? You know what I'm saying? If you had your time, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's like you
because he raps, sings
like a Lil Duval type, like
that's what
yes. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. That's like the saying.
Smile,
you can,
bitch.
yeah, hit him with the show.
Yeah, living my best life. You feel me? That's some real shit.
It's possible, but it's like at a certain point, I was like the music I was making, and I was like I said, I was more kind of on a serious, not trying to be too serious, but my shit was more like lyrical.
Right.
So I never wanted to kind of compromise that, and then even when I wasn't feeling like rapping, I just was like, I'm not gonna kind of half-ass shit or just put half in it because I like doing it so much. So that's why I'll just gradually just stop doing that. Was still writing, and then little by little, people would be like, man, you need to do comedy and this, that, and whatever, and. At low key, I didn't even go to like just try. I actually went to a show and then seen some shit that actually kind of triggered
your comedian vibe.
And I remember talking to Shang. It's a comedian Shang. He used to be on like Comic View and Def Jam.
Is that
light skinned dude?
Yes, I know you're talking about.
The little like.
And he made them real funny faces.
Yeah.
Yes, he made the funny faces.
I remember having like a convo with this nigga like. In like 2004, but I see him again in like 2018, 2019, and I just kind of was like, okay, like I might as well like just jump in and from there, just shit start going good and hitting shows and book shows, open mics, and people calling me to do shit, host, and now it's like it just seemed like everything clicked. Like I put in the work to try, and I do it and I write,
Right.
but shit start rolling like really.
Really picking up for you after a while.
To where I'm like, people hitting me like, hey, are you available next week? What you doing next month? And getting paid shows. So I was like, all right, shit is cool. So
yeah, I've always wanted to understand that too. Like, how do people get paid to tell a joke? You know what I'm saying? It's like, goodness, dude, they want you to come and actually do this party
because they know from seeing you if you can actually they've seen you do good with crowds, or like you didn't kill the crowd or did well, or you held the crowd like long enough to where it was laughs and it wasn't like dead time or awkward time. Then people will be like, hey, you want to come to this, or I'll pay you to show up for this if they can't get anyone else. And a lot of times I've done like shows in tattoo shops and like fucking barbecues, and people were like, hey, come to my house and we doing a show, because that's when, especially when shit was closed, and people were like doing little parties, like just come in their living room and they had
that's crazy.
They got chairs set up in their living room. So I literally performed like everywhere. People was performing at the beach, like in the sand, not even on the boardwalk or nothing. But like,
so how much does something like that like run? Like, you know what I mean? It just depends.
Like, so like to book the people,
or for them to book you.
I mean, anytime you can charge. It depends. Me, I've always looked at the place and who it is. If I know them, sometimes I might not charge shit.
Right.
And it's like if I see it's a place that's making money and I don't know them, and they just gonna make money off of me and all the other comics, then it'd be like, well, shit, at least shoot me like 100 or something.
Right.
Or like $75. So something to $50 if I'm up there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or. Yeah. If you making people buy drinks, because a lot of times that's what the 2-drink minimum shit is.
Right.
You got the door and then the 2-drink minimum or whatever you order, and then that's what usually the talent gets paid from, is like whatever they made from the bar or the kitchen, and then they'll break you off, or the host, and then he can break off everybody else. So.
Right. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And do you think about like just expanding, like trying to get into movies or try to get into other things like that with this comedy?
I would like do some like little like anything. Honestly, I wouldn't trip, like voiceover work. Or,
Have you tried to do something like that? Like try to go out for a part or try to just be an extra or something?
Not recently, but years ago I remember doing that shit. Like, and those are honestly my two like regrets. Like major was I signed up online for like some extra work, and they contacted me back for 2 movies.
Right.
And the 2 movies turned out to be Semi-Pro.
Oh shit.
And Watchmen.
Wow.
And now like Watchmen's like a damn show on HBO.
Really is.
And like they told me to do, like in the email, he was like, your profile, like whatever keeps coming across the desk, you tall, like bigger dude, and I had hair, like, so they were like, for the Semi-Pro, they sent me like everybody that was in the movie, what it was based on. So they were like, yeah, just you can show up and wear older clothes. If you have hair, just wear it out. So I'm like, I seen like Woody Harrelson's name and Andre, and I'm like, okay,
but it never sparked your interest.
I just was like, and I kind of let it slip by. And they hit me again. It was like, it's a movie called Watchmen. It's a superhero movie. And because you're big and tall, we need like, you won't put you in like, but I'll probably be like an extra just in the street, like in a suit, like looking up at shit and doing whatever. Some random shit. And I just, same shit, didn't go through with it. Then when I seen him, I was like, shit.
Like damn.
Especially Semi-Pro, because I'm like, that shit was just funny.
Yes.
Off of like the basketball shit. And it's another comic I seen in that movie. And the funny part, I can't remember his name, but he's always kind of reminded me of me. Even when I was younger, like a teenager, and I remember seeing him in commercials. I was like, this dude kind of looks like an older me.
Right.
And then I seen him in Semi-Pro.
You know what's so funny? I think I know exactly what comedian you're talking about. Because you remind me of this.
I get a couple like comics. He would be like Afion. Not Aviana, but I get that shit. Like niggas be like, that's just the long face and the mouth and shit. But I can't remember dude's name. But he's like, I seen him actually at a show, not like maybe right before COVID happened.
Right.
And he was in like the Comedy Union, and he was doing this shit. But he's always like in a bunch of shit, a couple sketches.
Right.
But I seen him and I was like, damn, that was probably supposed to be my right. He was like. He was an extra, but he was like in the shots. He was on the team on the bench, so it was like you'd have been like a bench warmer pretty much. I'd have probably got a couple little
scenes, some really good scenes too.
That's honestly like my only kind of regrets in not like following up with shit.
Right. So now that things are back open, do you think about trying to get back on there, try to get a SAG card or something like that?
Honestly, that you bring that up, I always kind of wanted to like get that and just never really knew how to like go about doing it.
It's pretty much the same thing. You just go be extras. Once you get an extra and you actually get movies like you said you had that Woody Harrelson movie. that was an extra on a. You would have
That
got a
would've
SAG
definitely-
point.
man,
You would have
that's
got points
crazy.
on that, and then the same thing with the Watchmen because Will Smith was in that.
No, that was Hancock. He was
No,
in it.
he wasn't in Watchmen?
Watchmen was
No, you know what I'm
it
thinking
was
about. You know what I'm thinking
the guy
about.
that plays Negan from Walking Dead was in it.
Okay.
It was a bunch of like kind of like white actors. I don't even know of any black
Okay,
people. That's
'cause you
like
know what
I'm
movie I'm thinking about?
The
I'm
guy that
thinking
played
about-
the new Freddy Krueger was in it. A bunch
Right.
of other people.
I'm thinking about that movie when
Hancock?
people were blue. No, that when
Avatar.
it was like it was like these little flying little creatures or some shit.
Was it Avatar?
No, it wasn't Avatar. It was like Will Smith played.
Afterlife
I don't know.
with him and his son. After Earth.
No, the Netflix movie.
Oh, Bright. Yeah, that shit is hard. I like Bright.
That's
I like
what I
that
thought
movie.
it was. I thought
like
you were talking
Bright.
about
I watch
that.
that shit like every other few months.
Oh yeah,
and
and
shit.
you guys out there, yeah, we
'Cause
got my
it's a dope LA
man
movie.
punching a building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying
Yep.
for a long time. You know what I mean? But he came back tonight. You know what I'm saying? Just to show his
Just
little,
to bless us.
You know, just to bless us with his little, presence. You know what I mean? It's always good to start with what you started with. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Start
right.
with who you started with. You feel me?
That's dope.
But
That's
yeah,
always dope.
shout out to Punch in the building, man.
That's right.
Thank you. Shout out
But
to you.
yeah, and even on just on comedian shit, what is one movie that you was like, would you would feel like, damn, if I had the opportunity to just take his spot and me get in that movie, what movie would that be like on a like for real comedian basis?
Man, it might be something like damn. I mean, I don't even know what good movies are like to even like newer. Like
It can be an older movie too.
That's what I said. If
You know what I
something
mean?
older, it would probably be something like a How High or a.
Yeah, you would
like,
take what Redman spot? You would
I'd
take
probably be
Method
like,
Man
I need
spot?
money. I'd be like, I
You
need
be-
money. Yeah,
So
I'd
you gonna be
like
a
the Harvey,
mute in the motherfucking
Exactly.
movie?
But I would just.
He's gonna be in a movie just a mute, get one line at the
it'd
end
be
and
like
shit.
Powder. It'd be like the assistant pimp or some shit. One of those niggas, like something like that, or somebody in Friday, one of the Friday movies. It'd be
Yeah,
like,
those are
I'd
good
be like one of
sequels.
their neighbors or some shit that lived on the other side of Joker.
Uh-huh.
Like,
That's funny.
like, yeah, the fools be climbing over my gate too.
Yeah, that's some true shit. That's some true shit. So yeah, even on just on movies alone, you know what I mean? Just growing up and watching movies, like what inspired you to say like, damn, were you even thinking about that back in the day when you were watching movies like, damn, I could actually be that comedian? What inspired you to like even want to,
It just it didn't come to. I mean, because I always used to make like my like uncles laugh and like my family. I always used to make like just do stupid little like kid
What
shit.
is one of the jokes you used to do back in the day that like, you know how niggas be like, hey man, come in the middle of the circle, you know what I'm saying?
I
Tell a
think
joke.
mine was more like impersonations, and it
Uh-huh.
was like I was just good at like, especially before my voice got deep.
Mm-hmm.
I was good at I could just do like voices off The Simpsons and shit. So I would just imitate. I would imitate shit that was on The Living Color the week before at school, and some shit Tommy Davidson did or Homie the Club. Like it was just, I was good at like my memory was just like solid to where I can kind of imitate some shit, but then still after that, it's like everybody, even rappers, once you start rapping, some people start with their own sound and some people kind of lean, they emulate
to
what they
what's
listen
going
to the
on right
most
now,
and
yeah.
what it's like what the sound is, and then they find their own voice eventually. That's why
Right.
a lot of people end up sounding different second, third album. But
Yeah.
it was like that with just as a kid, just imitating other people's shit, making fun of movies, doing goofy shit from TV shows, the Wayans Brothers I'd seen, or something in a Pee Wee Herman or some. I would do funny faces and make my uncles laugh or some funny shit.
Right.
And then even my teachers, like, it's like when you a class clown and you can get, I mean, I would get kicked out of certain classes, but sometimes when your teachers are telling you should do comedy, like
Right.
instead of like yelling at you or telling you to get like out
They
the
see
class,
something in
they're
you.
like, you actually funny and you make, I would like imitate SNL like from last week and be doing a Daryl Hammond when he would be making fun of Donahue.
Right.
And I'd be doing like the Donahue voice.
Right.
But I would have it down packed from imitating him. So it just kind of, just seeing people laugh from that though, and I would be like, damn. And then actually being in conversation once I got older with people, after people would tell me to do comedy, and we'd be like talking and just in normal conversation, I might crack something funny or about the situation, and motherfuckers would be dying.
Right,
And I'd be
right.
like, damn, that's like 20. That wasn't even 20%.
Right,
Like,
of what I could
these
give.
niggas are like really like, oh, like stop. I'm like, I'm just like off the head. Like this shit it's not funny, but y'all like really. So then that's when the confidence started building with it. Like,
Right.
maybe I should. And then maybe another year or so went by, and I'll start certain comics I watched and podcasts I watched. and fighters I watched that started becoming comics.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, damn, these motherfuckers, like, if he can do it, like.
So what about that? Like on the Instagram level, like you know how they have these Instagram comedians and stuff like that. Do you actually try to do stuff like that to stay relevant or get a TikTok or something?
I haven't done. I don't have TikTok. I don't have Snapchat because that shit take up too much room on your phone.
Yeah, Snapchat. I just don't get it.
And I don't understand. Like, if you send me a picture, I want to keep it. Like,
right.
I don't want, like, why do I want this shit to disappear? But
right.
I'm kind of like, I just made my fucking IG public like a year into doing comedy because I felt like I had to, just because.
Right.
If my shit was private and I had like 500 followers and shit. Now I got like a bunch of bots and I got a gang of followers, but not a gang, but more than I had before. But it's easier for people, I guess, to see my shit and content and like shit, be on my story, and it's cool, but.
Do you think about doing that, just staying with the times and trying to get like a cash? I mean, not a cash app, but a TikTok. Just like getting TikTok or something like that, just to do what they're doing.
I mean, I kind of would, but I just feel like I've always been a person that don't like to come into shit late. Like I got to jump on it when they jump on it, but like even TV shows, if some shit come out and everybody like it's the best. Like I still like watch Game of Thrones, but I'm gonna watch it.
Oh man,
I am gonna watch it, but I didn't watch Breaking Bad for like 5 years after it was over.
Oh,
so you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just I'm kind of like I'll catch up on my own time. So I've always been like that because the shit I'm doing on my time feel like a little. But I don't know. That's just how I've been. But
yeah, have you ever been heckled before? Like
not heckled, but you get like, especially up in like Hollywood, a lot of these like mics be like trash. Like the spots they be having them in, and the people just let any motherfuckers off. I had a joke at one spot. I was like, this shit like performing on the blue line. Like niggas that rode the blue line know that's just like a different type of crazy than every other line. The red line, the expo line, purple line, all that you see. Crazy shit. So it's like certain mics, you get people that would be like, not that they're heckling you, but they're attempting to, but they're just like, they're just belligerent. And they high, they might have shot some shit up, popped some pills, and stumbled into this spot and just took a seat. And then they start talking, or you get motherfuckers that's just lit and they think that's what it's supposed to do. And usually I just hit them with like nigga, this ain't a TED talk. Like, and just I hit it with something that makes everybody else laugh, to where I really don't go in on them to make them like fuck you. I just kind of make it to where everybody else kind of and they be like, oh my bad, and then I just literally go back to. Or if people are talking, I'll kind of like stop and be like, damn, you've been working on this set a minute. Damn, what clubs you been at? And they be like, and everybody else will laugh, and then that's another laugh I got, and I can just continue literally.
You just like kind of like blow them off real
quick. Like, now don't be too disrespectful to where they like, fuck this dude, unless depending on what they doing. But if they're just talking or kind of, people answering phones, I've had, like, I host too, so I've hosted shows and people be like, I can see your phone ring, but when you like answer and start like you in a convo while there's a motherfucker on stage and you like in the second row, that's like weird. So that you gotta kind of like go outside or something. But usually I've never really had to. I've seen motherfuckers like really heckle somebody, and then the heckler get cussed the fuck out and called all kind of hoes and bitches, and then the dude be like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have went that far." Like it was. It's just, but it's never happened to me. So luckily, knock on wood. So.
Do you ever have those jokes where women or people get at you in your DM later, like, dude, you kind of like disrespected us, or you know what I mean? Do you ever have those?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, like some little jokes I have. I've been currently saying little shit that probably is like not insensitive, but I don't know. It's like certain shit you'd have to hear. But
what would you? All right, give us one. Give us one. Let me know. See what's insensitive to people, because I mean, some of this. What I say with jokes is people are telling the fucking truth at times. You know what I mean? It's the truth mixed with a little something to make you laugh, but in reality, this shit is real. You know what I mean?
It's like I don't. It's like one. It's just what I talk about, like just like the homeless people now, and like a lot of shit with just the homeless people. But then I segue into that from talking about crackheads. But when I was in it, I was like. I did it by accident on first, and it worked so good. The reaction, the gasp, and the laughs, and then how I caught it. So I'm talking about like L.A. crackheads and how the white people gentrify crackheads now, and they don't even smoke crack; they gentrify as crack. They identify as crackheads. And so, and then at some point, I was like, I finished that joke, and I go like. Yeah, and while we were talking about it, R.I.P. DMX. And then I kind of caught myself like,
oh my God, you're fucking.
And then the crowd's like, oh shit. And then I'm like, come on, like we know what we know what he was doing. This nigga will go take a blast and X gonna give it to you. So it's like, it's the truth.
What?
It's the truth. He gonna get
That
lit, but
is
X
so-
is gonna give it to you. And then I go into that. From that, that's where I go into and there's no reason that he should be gone and Bobby Brown is still here. And then that joke actually just built even bigger for me because he did the verses he started doing the verses about a month and a half after I started doing that.
And that's
joke.
so funny because he did the verses with Keith Sweat, bro.
Exactly.
Did you guys see the verses, man, with him and Keith Sweat?
Keith Sweat was wearing the exact same outfit he had on in New Jack City when the wedding got shot up.
Oh, everything.
Like but I don't understand how he
Yes.
was so stiff, and Bobby is twisted up off the dope, but he's still
moving
he
with
body
big ass.
rolling, like stepping over his feet. And
I was so done with the
fucking
jacket,
jazz
though.
hands,
He had
yeah.
that long ass coat on. I said, yeah, okay, Bobby, you
he
doing
had the Bobby mouth in full effect.
Man.
Like, I just so that's one of my that part, that little segue is what I've been.
That's funny.
And it's like
because that kind of
the
that
crowd be
wolf,
like, oh, and I'll be like, not like that. Like I mean,
like you can't play.
yeah, but
that's
you know
real shit.
it's the truth.
Yeah,
Like,
because
so-
Mike Epps has a tendency to do some shit like that, and I love Mike Epps.
Yeah, Mike
he's
Epps
like one of the
is-
funniest
he's
guys
always
to
been
me.
like super funny.
Him, yeah.
He's
I remember
super
just like
laugh.
back in the
Even on Comic View, I remember when I first
That's
seen him
what
on
I'm saying,
Comic
Comic
View.
View,
and
yeah.
he had me dying. Like I remember, I was like a teenager watching that shit, like in tears. Like,
yes, Comic
and he
View.
was talking about just I still remember some of the jokes from that set. When he was talking about like niggas got beepers and a fat nigga with a beeper. And he was like, "What you doing?" He pulled over. He got a trunk full of snacks. And shit. He taking him to another little fat dude.
That
He just had his little
fat
He
dude.
just had his little jokes like.
Mike Epps has always been a real
Him
one.
and Cat Williams, like I liked a lot of Cat Williams shit. Like that shit was funny.
So what do you think about that though? Like in Cat Williams' defense, you know what I'm saying? He's been so like
I think nigga,
aired out and
once you fall out with the machine, they go out their way to do what they do. It's
Yeah.
what they did to Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
Cat Williams, and what they doing to the baby right now. And
Yeah, man.
It's literally once you fall out of the machine, that's
But
what
see,
happens.
like even on that, like touching on the baby's topic right there, like think about this shit. He never even stated one person.
It's just the fact
didn't-
they know what he's alluding to, and that's but you can still say nigga, call women bitches and hoes, and
yeah.
all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that shit that's you can say nigger and nigga on YouTube
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
And no problem. You can't even say like Black Power, Black Pride on TikTok. There's
Right.
a video where the dude's like showing all the words which you can't say with black in them on TikTok. When
Wow.
you try to like post it and it sends you like this message like that's
That's
unacceptable.
inappropriate?
Yeah. And
What?
then he goes back and types in white pride, white love, white, and it goes through. It's like posting as he likes, but all the other shit, anything black excellence, and it's nothing like gang shit. It's just anything with black in it. It's the same way. It's a lot of shit they do with that, but like I said, it's the machine of
the algorithm. You gotta learn it.
exactly, and it's like the algorithm just eats up. It seems like it's only aimed at niggas,
Yeah.
because there's no reason why like niggas like I know there's podcasts I've watched for bless you. It's
Excuse me.
podcasts I've watched for like years, almost 10 years, and at some point the dude would smoke or he'd roll up on, and even you might not see him, but you see him hitting his blunt and he's like, yeah, they'll give me a strike now if I'm smoking online or smoking on live. But then there's like the Joe Rogan podcast and they can hit out their pipes, they balls, they dabs, hit blunts, joints, drink bottles of whiskey.
True.
And this is the biggest deal Spotify has given a podcast.
Yes, true.
And YouTube, so it's just it seems like the algorithm is always aimed towards like people of color.
Yeah.
Like just fuck off, and once you find a way to make money or monetize some shit, they switch up the rules on YouTube. And
right.
now you got to start all over and find a new way. Then they switch it up again.
That's the truth.
So like to help little young YouTubers do goofy shit and get them like $3 million contracts. And
yeah. I mean, because lately I've been seeing a lot of people, man, like getting so much money off of YouTube, especially TikTok. Though.
For nothing, though,
like
honestly,
TikTok,
a lot of them. And I don't like to hate on other people's like hustle.
Yeah.
But it'd be like, what did this? It's just sometimes you have to ask, like, what did this person do though?
Get that
it's good.
much
Like
of a-
when I see somebody I know has been working, and you see them, and then they be like, so and so just signed a deal for. You be like, oh, that's sick as fuck. That's dope.
Right.
Oh, that's dope. This podcast has got put on a bigger platform.
Right.
Or they just pulled this dude in to be on a podcast that's on a bigger network.
Right.
That shit it's dope to see. It's inspiring. But when you see some shit just kind of get handed to some shit,
you
and
just
that's
trying to like, what the hell just happened?
yeah, and they're like, and you on top of you like, who the fuck is this person?
Yep,
Low-key, even where like I can understand if I don't know you, but nobody around me even knows this person.
Yeah, because that's how I felt about Rolling Loud when I was watching Rolling Loud. I seen that I forgot his name. He got a song out. It's like one of these white rappers. I forgot his name.
Which one?
He just had long hair. He kind of looked like Justin Bieber to me, but he had a cool little song, But he was sounding like, like urban. You know what I'm saying?
That's
He
the
really
big saying.
sounded urban.
All the country music sound.
But I was just more like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? I had no clue who he was, but they did his commercial back to back on they did it.
I gotta see him.
I gotta just I forgot his name.
Yeah, like, cause I stopped keeping up. That's the reason. That's the thing I stopped doing. Like, I'll be current and know certain shit, but certain shit I don't even entertain, just so I can't have a negative shit and I can't be called a hater,
right?
Because I think some shit is complete. Like horse shit,
yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't have an opinion because I don't even know who the fuck this is. And he'll be like, you don't know? I like, no,
yeah.
That's honestly the reason I stopped watching World Star years ago. Mm-hmm. I just stopped because I'd be like in the comments, then niggas want to argue it back and forth,
like, dude,
and
I don't
then
even
you
know
like,
y'all.
yeah, I'm going back and forth with getting a headache. Like, this shit is retarded. Just I'm not even doing this shit no more. Just off of it's on top of this platform was supposed to be for real artists and music.
Right.
When World Star first started, I remember like all this shit.
You went on World Star specifically to see what was new on the music
and it
charts.
was dudes that was like, that should be on the radio that weren't that didn't get their video.
Yep.
You'll see a Styles P and Jadakiss video on World Star, Papoose, Lupe, all these dudes, Royce, a fucking Crooked Eye, all before it was a Slaughterhouse, Joe Buttons, all them niggas individually would be dropping shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, for real, it would be names, it would be D-Block people affiliated with people you know.
Right.
But it was like still like authentic, like niggas that took hip hop serious.
Exactly.
And that was actually spitting, wasn't no garbage. Then it kind of gradually moved and they start uploading rappers like talking shit about other rappers.
Yep.
Like that's when niggas wasn't even yelling World Star till the fights start happening. And that was maybe three years into World Star.
Yep.
But it was like rappers start, oh fuck niggas, and this nigga that, and oh he want to say this on his video, and it was like it became the respond. What rapper is gonna say something, and who's gonna respond? Then it went from that to niggas getting socked out at the club because he said something on World Star.
Right.
And you see so and so got chased out the club or they shot at his car or some shit on, and then it get taken down and then it just turned to what it is, just girls giving heads in hallways and weird shit like on World Star Uncut and shit. Like,
what's the dude, the original curator of that? He passed, didn't he?
But even before he went, it changed. He was with the fuck shit. Like R.I.P. whatever, but that shit went super left.
Right.
And it was like half of it was porn, half of it was gang videos, half of it was weird shit, like niggas threatening niggas with guns, niggas taking niggas' chains or like showing the chains they took from the nigga at his show.
True.
It just became all the negative shit of like the culture.
Yeah.
Instead of like actually people. It could have been a balance. You could have like, I would have watched all of it if you still had all the other shit, but it just went like,
it went just totally
the meter went one way.
Yeah, that's why Grindface had a chance. Like, shout out to Grindface. He got the t-shirt on today too. Shout out to Grindface. That's my boy. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's super dope.
But that's like saying shit. He just like, he knows like his market. And that's what they come to there to see. And that's the difference with like, he didn't start with like rainbows and hugs.
Right.
And then just switch to car wrecks and shit. Right. It was like Grindface from the jump. Yes. So it was like.
And the craziest thing, I was watching the news, bro, and it was like, I'm telling you, channel Fox News 11, somebody had this whole shit on, and the shit went down with the police, and somebody in the background was yelling Grindface. I was like, this dude has made it fucking global. It's crazy. Shout out to Grindface, man. You made it all over the fucking world, bro. I'm telling people yelling Grindface when anything's going down. This is like, just Grindface. I'm like, that's the funniest shit ever.
It's always like, to me, it's like being a part, like, I don't know, like in the early, I'm a little older, so like in the early 90s, it's like before media was like it was, or it is.
Right.
Like shit, like settled, like so you attach to certain shits, like a radio show that you listen to all, like every day, and if they come on a special, you be like, oh, they're on, and everybody's listening to the same. I remember when Hit 'Em Up, when they played Hit 'Em Up on 92.3.
You remember the box?
I lived north of Exposition. I lived on Crenshaw and Pico, so we didn't get the box.
Oh.
You had to be either like, I think it was right below Jefferson. You'd have to be right below Jefferson or Exposition to get the box.
Right.
Or either west of Crenshaw or east of Crenshaw.
Right.
So I was like right on Crenshaw and Pico, like at that point when we lived, when the box was like popping.
Wow.
I was like, so I would be at the homie's house to see shit, but all the old videos that you couldn't see till YouTube, and you be like, oh, they had a video for this shit.
Yep.
I was like literally right out of this shit. So
yeah, I used to order shit off the box and everything like that.
That's funny.
Like shout out, like telling myself right now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you owe me $38 on my bill.
My mom probably was like, what the hell is this bill?
That's where that $56 on my bill came from.
The box. I was doing
it was
that
like,
shit.
See Bone Thugs and Eazy-E and shit. Who's gonna be number one tonight?
Yep.
I had to just watch Rap City Top 10 and shit.
Hey, Rap City was a shit, man.
I like Rap Big Les, Joe Claire.
Rap City was a shit.
Tigger, all that.
Big Tigger was a man. That's when I really got into music and stuff like that. When I didn't even necessarily got into music, that's when I really started to want
just
to know more about rap. Yeah. Because just to see the basement, you know what I'm saying? Inside the basement, you get Wayne coming up in there. Then
got
you
Idris
hear
Elba DJing and shit.
Everybody in that thing.
E40 and the niggas in there.
Like these, I think today, like I want to bring back some of that shit, so these kids can understand where this shit started from. You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, like if I give a kid, you know, a CD or something, they think is whack. You know what I'm saying? They don't really understand. They look at it too like it's a CD. Yeah. Like I just like Google or just bring some. That's how much. Because like because you remember, like, okay, say like my era, like we probably in the same age era, you know what I mean? When we seen cassette tapes and then we seen albums.
You can open the booklet, read the song, see the lyrics, you can see the pictures.
We seen real vinyl, like even though we didn't play vinyl, we appreciated it.
That was probably my first ass whooping. I mixed my mom's Prince album. I was like 3, 4.
You tripping, bro.
Like I said, I was born in '81. So Prince was still, and it was like I think it was the raspberry beret, and I had to be about 3 or 4, and I remember putting that shit. I remember taking it out the sleeve and putting that shit up on her like turntable. She had the big speakers.
Yep.
And I remember like playing it, because I knew how to turn it on. And I have my own little albums, Hansel and Gretel, little shit she got me, so I wouldn't fuck with her shit.
You're right.
And I remember playing, and then Prince shit come on, and I remember just like, I just started trying to mix. That's why I didn't just fuck it up by like putting scrap. I literally was trying to mix. And I remember she came in, was like, the fuck? Like, I got one of them 80s mama ass whoopings. Like, nigga, like out the kitchen, like, let me put this towel down. What the fuck are you doing?
Not to my Prince album.
To my Prince album. And this is like, has to be 85. Like,
and that's a classic.
But at that point, it's still current. You see what I mean? Because it's like, that's another thing I was saying with like, about just being older. When you drop shit back in the day, it had to settle. Niggas would put out a single and it'd be out for like a year. Yeah. And then one album, you can ride an album for like 2-3 years. Yep. Like off of singles, videos, and a tour. And then now you got to do shit. You dropping mixtapes every 2 weeks. Man. Niggas is like, and niggas is like, I heard that. Like, damn, nigga, this nigga just came out. Yep. So. That's what I meant about like media. Also, like we didn't know when a person died. We didn't even know. Damn near for like 4 days. Yeah, like, that's true. Robin Harris did. Like you didn't know for
you remember that shit?
I remember that shit. I was like, I low key like tear it up. That was like
everybody teared up.
I remember like what?
You like nigga?
From kids dead. Like,
I said nigga.
I remember more from Do the Right Thing.
Yeah,
that's where I knew him from with the three OGs that be out there with their high life and sitting there tripping, talking shit. Like man,
yeah, that's the true stuff.
But that was that era.
It was like Miss Doubtfire.
Man.
Look, think about that, dude. But that's what I say. Like today's kids and the way the world is today, it's kind of like even the way comedians are brought out. You're like, dude,
just rolled. It's just.
Boom. That's you're like, where they come from.
Dave Chappelle said that in one of his last specials about like. It was a joke. It wasn't a joke, but it was like, you know, some of his jokes are jokes, and some of his jokes is just real shit. And what he said was some shit I remember living through was about the Challenger. When the Challenger exploded, when was that 88, like 87, when they had the female astronaut. Yeah. And they had us all in the classrooms. That was a big fucking deal.
That was a big deal.
And and I remember watching that shit, and that shit, everything blew up, and all the kids, we were like, oh shit. Yep. And then that shit, they sent us all home early, and we had to talk to people the next day, like, are you okay?
Did you see the tragedy?
And it was like we grew up in. Like, I don't know. I'm sure that was very traumatic, but for us, like, we seen shit in real life that was like way fucking crazier, especially in like the late 80s.
Yeah, because that's how I felt when I think my most impressionable time was like watching WWF.
I love that shit.
WWE. You know what I'm saying?
honestly, just started watching when I started doing comedy
Yeah,
because I'd be out every Monday night.
Did you remember watching SmackDown when Owen Hart died?
I always watched it, all that shit.
So when Owen Hart died, I was like, it was so crazy because we were watching it live.
Yeah, and it's like they just cut away.
And it was like.
Yeah.
What
that's what Dave was saying when we were younger, and it wasn't these cell phones, media, and all these outlets.
Yep.
When shit happened, like a Challenger or Owen Hart or anything of that magnitude, it hit, and it was just
it was real.
It was with us for a while.
Yes.
And he goes, but when he goes, you walk around with these phones and this shit now, and it's like with social media. It's a Challenger or an Owen Hart every day, every hour,
single day,
low key every hour.
It, yeah.
And he goes, so imagine how fucked up these
kids
are
yeah.
now when you literally have you're watching a Challenger explode
every single day.
Just every time. And I'm like, damn, that was like when he said that. That's some real shit and it's I don't know. That's why I kind of don't trip on being older and not like I had to get a phone. I've had my phone for years, but.
Right.
I used to just get it and I would let the bill go because I wouldn't give a fuck. And I just have my phone for numbers,
right,
and games, right in it, just a camera. Yep. I was like, because anybody knew where to talk to me, knew where to find me, or hit me on another app on Facebook or some shit,
Truth.
Or just call the house or just come through. So I never was like a phone person until maybe like 2014, 2015.
It had to get that way.
It was like,
because that's when house phones start getting eliminated.
Exactly.
You're like, where the fuck is that
you don't
house
see
phone?
We don't see the twirly cord.
We don't see
You don't see the in the kitchen no more, like leaning
the
on the
long
wall.
ass
like
cord.
Smokey talking to the homegirl on the phone in the kitchen. You don't see that shit.
You don't see house phones.
You don't see the one that lights up by the bed or
nothing.
It is just, I mean, it's old shit. We're like, that's older now because we're older.
Older, yeah.
But it's like shit was like still fun and like to go outside and play. Now everybody just sits in their house and watch like other people play video games.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird as fuck. Like they watch. I've seen kids watch other kids play with toys. And I'm like he has it. They're like, I tripped off. He has his game. I can see. I've watched shit to see how a person beats a level or do some shit. I'll be like, okay, or just see how that's how he does this, and you can use that power or ability in the game. But to just watch, I don't even play this shit. I got a stack of games and I just watch people play.
Yeah, see, like,
that's weird. And people get chipped off on YouTube for that now. Twitch and YouTube will give you a few 100,000 to a few million
just to do a review.
And you don't even have to be good at the game. They say most of the best Twitch players aren't even good.
Right.
They're just like, it's like people watching them just fall or some shit. It's
just really ridiculous. It's just so funny how stuff it's not important anymore
at all.
Like things aren't important, period. Like but everybody's sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, you don't have to really read that book. You don't have to really go over there and do that. You don't have to do that. But if somebody calls you a name, report it. Like what the fuck? Like what type of shit?
Just make a bigger deal out of it. I can see being super disrespected, but it's certain shit that's just weird now. People ain't even on no. I don't know. It's just like I said. It's just,
so does that affect you when doing comedy, considering that you have to like hold back? Because I remember back in the day, man, it was going crazy. We can say whatever the fuck we wanted to say,
exactly.
Like the Bernie Macs, you know what I'm saying? The D.L. Hughley's, man, Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying?
Eddie Griffin,
hell yeah, like all those good comedians. I mean, it's like they don't even care to get out there anymore because of so much of
it's so PC and they can't like get their shit off. I mean, like I said, my comedy is like, I'm just saying, I'm not trying, because there are comics. I've been in open mics and where there's like people super trying to be like push the envelope to be like, it's nothing even funny you saying. You just trying to see how many times you can get away with saying nigga.
Yeah.
Or like if you can get away without nobody saying nothing, or like, but it's like, where's the build up to this going?
Right.
And it just seems like you just trying to be edgy so people know who you are, which is like, it's just some clout chasing shit. So it's like, it's the same shit. If you might as well just do IG like videos and something that'll just bring people in to come to see your show.
Right.
Because I've seen comics that are good on stage, and then they IG shit it'd be like whatever, and then I've seen dudes that are super funny on IG and
they're really not good,
and they're really, really not. And that's not saying everybody, because there's no all one way on. But I've seen a lot of dudes that I was like following and be like, these dudes are hilarious, buy a ticket to the show and just be sitting and be like, sheesh. Like,
Yeah, because I've always wanted to do that. I always wanted to either catch a B. Simone or a DC Young Fly or somebody's show like that. Or what's the dude, the country guy?
Wayne?
Country Wayne, yeah.
I've never seen him
I think he's
live.
pretty funny.
I've never seen him. I've never seen his stand up.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's, to me, comedy
He's funny,
today.
He's funny, though.
To me, comedy today is nothing more than just to mimic what we did back in the day. And that's pretty much all they're doing. Like, I seen a girl mimic the old school videos. You know what I mean? When it came down to the Mary J. Blige videos and the Monica videos and stuff. So it's like,
they put on a wig
and then they train.
They be trying to do the old moves or do something what Total used to be doing.
Yeah.
They do the Total bop.
Exactly.
And that's another like.
That's
catchy,
a way of
getting on
comedy.
and
it's like,
getting in.
What
and
the hell? Like,
it's like that's to me. It's
corny
like
it's
like
very corny and it's not original and it's like
especially when that's all you do.
Dude, that's everything.
It's like if that's
do.
something you just randomly did because you was listening to the song, and you saw the video and the video looked funny,
right?
And you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do this just to imitate this because that's funny as fuck."
And that's
but then
where
it
it's
just
at.
seems like there's people that are like,
over
that's
and above
all I'm
with
gonna
it.
do, and I'm just gonna
because I see a lot of the guys. I said, what's going on with a lot of the guys? Like every guy I see now is putting a wig on, putting a dress on.
That's been normal, and that's been going on for a minute.
It's just tripping me the fuck
out.
out.
Like a lot of Facebook comics, I remember before it was even on IG.
Yeah,
maybe dudes you see on Facebook, and they be funny as hell. Then they doing shit like with the glasses,
they mimicking your mom back in the day, mimicking this, and you're like, what the hell?
It's like at some point it always came down to that.
Yeah,
and it was one dude I can't even remember his name. And I just remember, I remember seeing him just a couple. I never really watched him. I would see other people post him here and there, and then I think at some point he started doing kind of like feminine characters, and then eventually he just came out the closet, and everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then his YouTube shit just kind of died out,
right?
And it was like, "Well, damn, are y'all gonna support him or not?" But that's the shit y'all watch, and then he turns out to really be gay. And then y'all low-key just let his YouTube shit die out. Like,
yeah, and that's one thing. That's a big, big issue today. This gay thing, man. It's like you can't say anything. You can't have an opinion about anything. You can't really do too much with that today. It's like, damn, you get more of a right than a person calling you a, you know what I'm saying, a nigga. And you like,
call
damn.
you a nigga, and then if you punch him, you wrong.
You totally wrong.
Or like you should have like called the authorities.
Yeah, or you should have understood how to, not to be an adult.
Conduct
you know what I'm
yourself.
saying? Conduct yourself in a different manner. You know what I'm saying?
But you call somebody from Israel out their name. You call somebody a homosexual out their name.
You're going to damn near get reprimanded.
You saw what happened to Nick Cannon, and he didn't even call nobody out their name.
Nope.
But you talk about certain subjects.
You get
and
exposed.
It's like, but you can literally have people that be like, let's take all Martin Luther King shit out of books now, Native American, indigenous people shit out of books. But you can keep Christopher Columbus and
like, do anybody know the story for real? Like,
exactly.
Stop
like,
playing.
Who knows? This shit was a simulation. Somebody pressed a button, and we all just glitched on this motherfucker like in the late 1800s. That's like, no, there's nothing before that. And there's people actually believe shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was the Mormons. I think it is Mormons. They said they only believe this shit's like 5,000 years old or something.
Right.
Like, there's nothing past like some weird.
It's just different today.
Everybody's different.
It's just different today. But I mean, just being in a world of laughter, just being in a world where there is nothing but to tell jokes. You know what I'm saying? Do you just like, how do you freestyle shit? Do you just wake up in the morning and just like see some shit and be like, man, I'm putting that one on the paper, bro?
Yeah, sometimes I just see certain shit. Like I was out here going to the house or going to get some blunts one day. And as I'm pulling out my driveway and I'm turning, I see like you stop to let the car go by. And it's like a smoker, and that's where I kind of came with the gentrified smoker shit with just multiple experiences with these new. See, I seen a smoker coming out of a homeless smoker coming out of 7-Eleven with a kombucha.
What the fuck are you doing with a kombucha?
I was just like, it was just weird. Like, I guess you could get right, but it just was weird. Like, that should be the last decision you like. There's some other shit going on with you, bro. But I just see certain shit. I seen a smoker like in a drop top Mustang. He got in a drop top Mustang and pulled off playing "Seal Kissed by a Rose."
Oh my god!
And that's the realest shit. Like, and I made that a joke. I was just like on stage. I was like, this nigga really pulled off Like
Playing Seal.
Singing to the crack pipe, my power, my pleasure, my pain.
That's funny. That is funny.
But it's real shit when you can just see the humor in it.
Yeah.
And anybody else should be able to see the humor in a smoker getting in a drop top Mustang.
That's true.
In the middle of summer with a beanie on, like dressed like was it Biggums, Tyrone Biggums.
Oh wow.
Just with a beanie on and a hoodie and it's hot as fuck with his top down.
Okay. And you know that's not his car. He just stole that shit. He just got
somewhere.
He just stole that shit.
And he's just pulling off with Seal playing like no way. That was your choice, nigga? Like, really? Kiss by a Rose. Like,
yes, definitely the choice. And that was good music back in the
day.
Man,
nigga, that was when soundtracks had to actually be just as good as a movie.
Yeah, and then
that was another part of the 90s.
Exactly,
like,
where you have to match the movie. Or even this, like when I bought a game the other day, you know, from GameStop and shit like that. You know when you open the game, we used to have like the fight codes and the way you can do shit like. I was like, it was just a piece of paper in there, motherfucker.
They don't even have
instruction
books. They stopped putting instruction books in games like 7.
That's crazy.
They stopped putting, because I was big. I still play GTA 5. That's all I really play online. But like they stopped putting all other games. There's like no instruction books.
Damn, it sucks.
They have like maybe a tutorial on the game, or you can look it up online, and it might be something to show you the buttons, like a piece of paper. Right. But there's no like. That used the same thing like when you buy an album.
You get to
open the
read
game,
it.
They give you a poster or something of the game.
Man.
It's just a lot of shit now. It's just like cutting, here you go, fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's really, really quick. Like, that's why I said it's just, everything's like fast food. You know what I'm saying? Just give it to you quick. Hey, everything's convenient. Everything's right in your face.
Even they're making you download the rest of the game.
Like,
I don't understand. That's another reason I really stopped like on the games, or you got to get the DLCs, like the DLC. But it's like, okay, I'm downloading like. If I buy WWE and either 2Ks, how the fuck does it make sense that I got the game, but I have to download or I have to pay to get like Sting or somebody who was currently here at this time.
Right.
And it's like, he's on the roster, he was there, I gotta pay to get like The Rock or it just doesn't, it's just certain shit. You buy Street Fighter and it's like 6 people unlocked and you gotta pay to get Ryu and Chun-Li. Like nigga, that's their part of the game and the story. Like that doesn't make sense. Why would you charge me extra $50? It's like you selling me an unfinished game and I have to pay you for the rest. And the game is already out the ass now. Like they do be like $60-$50. Like that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just stay online playing GTA and racing cars and shit and shooting that shit. And
you know, I don't even get online like that. I don't really care too much to get online like that. I just find myself just posting for content. You know what I mean? So it's just like so people can see that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still available. You can get a haircut if you want to. You can come on the show if you want to.
I'm going to have to come, I had one in about 2 months since probably the last show I hosted.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Like lately, I just been like, man, this is... You just get away from social media. You get away from all this stuff, and you start like really realizing, like, damn, I really don't need this stuff.
There's other shit going on.
It's so much other shit going on, man. It's so much other shit going on.
That's why I tap out with a lot of shit. Like I said, World Star. Just I'll be aware of current events and certain shit, but a lot of times, like, I don't be.
Yeah, you're kind of like out of it.
Because it's like I see what they're using it to distract you from.
Yeah.
Or to keep you like looking at it. I just see the bigger picture with a lot of shit now.
Yeah.
So that's just getting older. You see that shit, the distraction. Yeah. When you've seen it play over too.
Right.
You've seen this shit like happen before. And you're like, wait a minute. It's.
So like even on that, like we see how everything is changing. Everything is getting like, you know, really. It's not really in demand for a lot of stuff anymore. Do you think that comedy is kind of like dying out?
I think it's just alive and popping pretty good. Like, because it's just certain types of comics are dying out.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. It's certain one like hacky motherfuckers, and you got people that try to steal jokes or attempt to steal themes, and that shit is. There's so much like, oh, I know this person, like, and it's a lot of people that really aren't funny, or they bare minimum, and they try to like, not just attach themselves, but try to use another person's funny as like theirs,
right,
instead of just building their shit, keep working at it, and those people kind of died out. That's when COVID happened. That was like the big thing I noticed. When COVID started and the lockdown and everything was people didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
And then that was the first thing. Everything took a blow, of course, society and the world and people's lives. But comedy in LA, I'm sure everywhere, but in LA really took the blow of all the big names that would be on Sunset every night
Right.
were like now they're in Texas, back in Jersey, they're in like different parts of the South, Florida, and a lot of them went to even Colorado. Some of them went to, so they left, but they left kind of early. And like I said, I would watch a lot of their podcasts, and it was a lot of big name like comedians and podcasters, and they were like, comedy's dead in LA. It's over. There's nothing like, it's over. It's never gonna be back. You look at Melrose, it looks horrible. Look at Sunset.
Yeah, because it does look horrible, bro.
But a lot of shit immediately did open back. You see people still out there, like people go to clubs in Skid Row and that for years before any of this shit. They be partying with niggas in tents and boxes outside. In a club, popping bottles, throwing money in the air. So
you ain't
it's like it just seemed like a lot of those older comics, and they were saying it was almost like they were trying to discourage other comics
from even trying,
not knowing, like, or probably knowing, because it was a lot of underground shit that eventually started once. About 5 months went by, and people was like, okay, fuck it, I'm outside, and I'm good. If I already got sick inside, or I didn't get sick here, I don't give a fuck anymore, and I'm around these people that don't give a fuck, and we not gonna be around nobody else.
Right, this is a livelihood. Like, they start choosing, like, man, I need to make some money.
And that happened around maybe September, like October.
Right.
Like, so people started like, fuck it, and then gradually other shit had been open, and they tried in July, then would close it back, but here and there, it was comedy shit open. Now to where it opened back up to where, like, a person like me, I had like a great fucking 2020.
Okay.
Like a lot of the shows, like I was getting on shit because it was a lot of shit open as far as like speakeasies, like underground shits that weren't like hole in the walls or little dirt ball spots. They was like some real put together shit, but it'd be some real big name people in there.
So you would think because some people left, that actually gave you guys a better opportunity.
It was like the top of the food chain just kind of cleared off, and then it just left it open, So it was like people that wasn't even next in line that were just, if I'm funnier down here, and I see there's people that are this next in line, but they were just dick riding these people, and you actually use your funny to just overshoot these fuckers. Now that's honestly where I felt like I got to, or just I'm not like super balling or some, but I see the difference of last year where I was at to where shit is now, and it was off of actually still putting in work last year and trying when other people was like everything's done and people left, and I can understand people had family in other states and it was reasons why people left, but it was a lot of people that just was like LA's done because they heard other big name comics saying LA was done, because they just didn't want somebody probably to take their spot, or and now shit's back open, shit's been open, and all these spots are still making their money, it's closing here and there again, but you know, it's whatever. But
do you say that like in the comedy world, is it still like a competitive, like, oh, I'm a step on your head, I'm gonna try to take your spot type of thing, like, you know how the competition is when in basketball or something like that?
I don't think I've reached that spot yet. Or I haven't had anybody try, like, I haven't felt that. I've seen it's people that give weird vibes in anything, and I've seen like people saying like they trying too hard to be like
that
Hollywood,
guy.
And then they see other people fucking with you, then they want to be like, oh, what's up? Or you see them and meet them in certain spots around like black people, and then you see them somewhere in Hollywood around like nothing but white people, and they trying to kind of act like you like nigga, you was trying to hit the blunt, like okay, I see who you are now, and that's probably the most funny shit I've dealt with, and some of those people I'll see. They be on shit, and people see them. I won't say no names, but it's just certain. It's maybe a few people I've seen like that and experienced that kind of fake. Like it's like some want to be like accepted by other people, or they won't come. They're in a hurry to get to like the other spots in North Hollywood and Hollywood, but they won't come to the spots in Inglewood, or Compton. And I can understand certain people being nervous and they ain't from out here. But if like you being invited somewhere by people that it's like putting it on, ain't no type shit like that even going on there. It's a comedy show. Ain't nobody trying to. You should just be like, all right, cool, it's good. I wouldn't I'm not going to have you come to some shit to get like chased out. Unless you just like got some shit going on I don't know about. But
that's just a cop out. Some people use a way to get out of things so they don't have to be like
exactly, and they don't have to be like I was in Compton doing or I was in in South Central, or I've seen a lot of that, but they be like running and taking pictures, skinning and grinning with like other people,
right?
Like big time, and then don't even be on the shows or get made fun of or get kind of mocked,
right?
Like almost like a token. But it's offset. That's what I've like been peeping in the comedy, and there's a lot of real dudes, real people, a lot of real niggas in comedy, and there's a lot of like phony people. But you just kind of like link up with who you link up with, and shit be cool. And it's kind of stay on your own shit, but.
So what would you tell a person who like trying to get into comedy, like, because I don't think there is any. I mean, because I know you can go to the Laugh Factory and stuff like that.
But see, those are like, it's like, honestly, that was like where I went. The first show I went to, well, not probably that I remember, and I met like some comics after the show, and they were cool. Took a couple pictures, like Ron G. Shout out Ron G, like super funny. I'll be on IG doing this shit, the what's going on, and like so. But he, like, I've done. That was kind of like one of my big moments. Like I met him. I remember going to a Chocolate Sunday, and he was hosting. He still hosted, and I remember taking pictures with him. That was about like 4 years ago, maybe almost 5 years ago. Took a picture with him, and then about 2 years later, we were on the same show together.
Right.
And I took another picture with him. It was just like dope to compare, like where I was at in life at that point too, where I was like super depressed and wasn't doing music, still working, and I was just kind of in the work home,
right?
And then we'll go to shows, art shows, and I was like just kind of in a mode of like nothing. And then just so I remember then to be where I'm at now and be like doing shows with people I was paying to see, and now they like the homies. And so that shit is like it feel good, but the advice to a person is just those spots like the Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, the Improv, Ice House. They're dope spots, and like it's and Flappers, they're super dope. But it's like it's almost like it's like you gotta. Those spots only kind of want you there when you got something to offer them. You know what I mean? It's like record labels now. Okay. Like you got to be already. They don't build you. Like record labels, DJs, they used to sign you. Oh, this nigga dope. Right. He's from the neighborhood. He dope. We gonna get him a chain, an outfit. True. But he writes his own shit. He's hard. We gonna break him. We gonna send this to the DJ. The DJ gonna spin it at 4. And he's the new nigga that's popping on Rap City. Right. And now this nigga's touring. And now he's a name for the last 5-6 years. They don't do that no more. It's they wait for a nigga to record some shit in his living room and make his own shit. The video go viral.
And see if people follow him.
And then they just throw him a bunch of money and then buy up his publisher or his royalty. Or get his whatever his shit, the rights to his shit. Or just give him a bunch of money you don't want to refuse. And now they just own you. They jumped on your shit while it was selling. Right. And that's what... Sir, I don't want to say that like in a negative way, but it is what it is with a lot of those clubs. It's like they'll be respectful to a certain extent, but if you really are somebody that's on the come up, or if they're not looking at you like they'll have you sitting there all night waiting to go up, telling you, oh yeah, you're next, or give me like 2 more comics. And that hasn't happened to me, but I've seen that happen with other people. Right. And I've had people try to pull that shit, like where it's like nigga, like I'm on the flyer, nigga, like like so it's for newer comics, it's just putting the work in at open mics. Everywhere you can, even if you hosting your own shit, and then just inviting comics to your own shit, because that works really good. Because then people want to remember you, and they'll bring you in, and then just getting on to where maybe it's not even a comedy spot or space, but it's a place to just do your own shit, right? And you literally work from there. But once people see certain shit, and they're like, okay, this dude is serious, or he shows up and support other people's shows, right? Make sure you go, because I would always do that. Just period, genuinely go to shows. I go to shows to laugh. And the dudes would be funny, and they start seeing me again and again. They be like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" And they're smoking with me, and then they start, "Oh yeah, you going up? Oh shit!" And then to the point where they're like, "Yo, you funny," and it's like now you kind of like in the club. Where they even tell you like, hey, bro, like you for a new dude, like you way funnier than most people at this stage. Right. But I felt like that's because I waited so kind of long in life to because a lot of new comics are early 20s, mid 20s. True. But most OG comics that became legends started at like 36, 37. Right. So it's like because they had life experience, all this weird shit, depression, pain. Exactly. Not saying you can't experience none of that at a young age, but you still have you have more to talk about. Is how you've lived through it or still dealing with it. So that shit that's the best advice. Just do your own shit and get in where you fit in, but still make your own space. Right. Don't worry, don't wait for nobody to call you up on their stage, and because a lot of motherfuckers just got their own homies they gonna call up before they'll call you. True. Even if you've been there before they homie was. So it's do your shit and just grind for it, and that's it.
Yep, that is very, very good advice to someone who's trying to get up, because there's a lot of people who don't know their place, you know what I mean? They don't know what they're good at, you know what I mean?
And they just
So,
try to fit in, and they end up being used, end up getting used by somebody, because then there's a lot of people like that in the business that even if they're not trying to use you for your jokes, they want you for like an entourage,
right.
or they want you to look cool with them, or to certify them. It's just certain shit I've seen, or even had people try to attempt on, and I'd be like, I just like I already done took note, and like, so I don't even fuck with this person. So you see it here and there, but for the most part, when you out there and people keep seeing you everywhere. Like when I see people like everywhere I'm at, over and over, then like y'all become cool, and it becomes people see who you are, they respect what you're doing because they doing the same shit. They keep seeing you in the same spaces, right? And you're not just there to try to like just float through or something. You like trying your shit or getting better or just reworking shit. But it's a lot of I honestly got lucky because I started with book shows. Okay. So my first like 4 shows, the homie I just met when I went to that show with Warren V, and I got on. So it was just I got lucky of getting on shows with actually people that were on Comic View, right? That were like older, had been around, and I had to kind of come with some shit, and it felt like okay, I did good enough to where I'm gonna keep going and just start working at it, and start writing and getting topics and pulling from this and making stories and doing this, and the shit worked good to. I'm still here, but then later on, once I found out it was multiple hundreds of open mics all over the city, because I used to think it was just 1 or 2 in North Hollywood. I didn't know shit about. Yep. And then people were like, yeah, go here, there. Check a Comedy Bureau online. That shows you like every open mic in the city, how much it costs, how much time. So I didn't even have a car at that point. I was on a train.
Well, that's good.
Going to North Hollywood and shit. So like it's once you put the work in, you see the return of the shit. And I honestly. I put that work in, getting home at 4 a.m. on trains. Yeah. When I could have got home at like 11:30. Right. But I stayed to either finish watching the show or stayed to network try to go up or network or I put in those hours nightly or every other night enough to where people saw me, and then like it just came to like a year and a half, 2 years later to where shit went well. So here we are.
Okay. And tell the people right now where they can find you at, you know what I mean, if they want to get in contact with you, if they want to be able to, get some, a show booked or something like that.
It's just at Tony Gramz on Instagram. That's TONY_GRAMS. And that's it. I'm in a white t-shirt and the shades, looking like a mugshot. Okay. That's it. You can find me on there, DM me, and watch my stories and my posts for any like content, any of my show dates. I'll be in Inglewood at I can't. It's a Spanish name. I can't even pronounce, but it's a brewery. I can't even pronounce brewery. Damn me. Okay. It's like 916. Hold on. Let me find that flyer just to promote that because that's next Tuesday.
Yes, come on out to see Tony, man, because he's gonna be out here live on the stage for you to get your laugh on. Okay.
It will be the Tortugo Brewing Company, 916 West Hyde Park Boulevard, Inglewood, California. And it's a free show. It's on the 10th, and it starts at 7 p.m. And it's me, a couple other comics, Karina Reyes, Luis Garcia, a bunch of other people, Billy Anderson. Yeah, so come through.
Yes, come support. Come support.
Get these
you guys.
laughs and get these laughs for free.
Yeah,
you should be paying for them, but.
Yeah, but look, we're going to give him a laugh right now. Before we get up out of here, we're going to ask you this certain question, you know what I mean? We always ask, because you're a comedian, and I think you'll give us a funny one, okay? So in your alone time, you know what I mean, young comedian, what is the 3 porn topics that you actually look up, you know what I'm saying? And, make it your special, like,
I mean, I always like, I ain't going to lie to VVW, but it got to be not like it's multiple BB Dub categories and some you don't want to even venture into. Okay. So there's like BB Dub, and there's like SS BB Dub, which I guess means supersized. Oh, wow. But those are like kind of the morbidly Maury Povich.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah.
Then my 600-pound life goes, oh, like, my gosh.
I just usually do the BB Dub, but like kind of the big titty, like thick, like I got to do the solid BB Dubs or just the cute, I can't.
But I never heard of the SS Dub.
Yeah, that's been around, and that's a lot of them. They're just using the BB Dub as like a as a moniker to kind of pull you in, but it's you see it, you like, and there be niggas still like working them out. Same niggas that be in all the other videos. You be like, this nigga got a whole SSBB Dub series.
SSBB Dub,
yeah,
y'all.
Like, that sound like a Monte Carlo. Nigga, I pulled up an SSBB Dub with the Euro clip on it. You already know I had the 22s on the SSBB Dub. Like that's one. You like the BB Dubs, but not the SSBB Dubs.
Yeah,
just the solid ones, like where the you know, they might have a little solid tummy or something like. Hey, but they solid. I like that. Then I might do like maybe the interracial pogs. Like they call them pog, fat ass white girls.
Oh my!
But then the pog is like there's Mexican pogs, Latina pogs, there's Asian pogs. So they're still calling them a fat ass white girl, but they're not white.
But
it's like calling a Vietnamese
pog
person
is a fat ass white girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's actually been a category also. Usually pogs do and just interracial porn because they're like way thicker, like built like kind of certain black girls. You just got
this is the thing. So this is really not.
Yeah, pog is like, I mean, it's a category. I don't know if like niggas be on pogs in real life.
Oh my god.
But that's a category in certain. It's a lot like Sarah J. I don't know if you remember Sarah J. She's like the white girl porn star with the big ass and the fake boobs, and it's just a lot of old school pogs.
Oh my god! So I've never heard of that one.
So, but that's kind of, I would even say it's more like, yeah, like kind of in there, and then probably
the last one. He gonna give us a real one, y'all.
Like the
SSBB Dubs. Pause.
No, not SS.
No, I'm just saying that was just something new, you know. SSBB Dubs, the Pogs, you know.
SS Minnow, that's the SS Minnow, nigga.
Yes, so
so the regular BB Dubs. Let's get it straight.
BB Dubs.
BB Dub, no. And then like the. I don't know, kind of sometimes it's weird because like even though it's the BB Dub, I like the slim it'd be like the slim black girls, it'll just be ebony, but it'd be like the slim ebony girls, and they be like all greased up and shit, shining and shit, and they always start. So it's so it'd be like it could be one that's just super slim, and then just the BB Dub, and then like a fat ass white girl.
Oh my gosh! So so in reality, he's
chart.
Seeing a 100 sign, like
literally
100.
And
so you got a skinny one
thicker,
and two big thick ones.
Yeah, like one thick one. Even the pog is like the pog, because even some pogs are slimmer. They just have big boobs and ass.
Okay,
but they're not really like BB Dub-ish.
Okay,
they're just like they're still like a slim body, but they just have real big boobs and ass.
Okay.
So that's why they're just a fat ass white girl. Like,
not
like a fat ass white girl. Like,
a fat ass. Okay,
like,
we got
like
it.
the fat ass, yeah. So
okay, because I was like, is that disrespectful?
So I'll say like the ebony, not even the petite ebony, because they have that but like just regular ebony, like. You know,
let me let y'all know, he be really watching his shit. You know what I'm saying?
I remember we used to have to go through the barn doors to get porn. You ever in the old video? I used to go to Pico Video. You got to walk through. You got to walk through the little barn doors, like, and you in there looking at the little Korean man looking at you like.
What you gonna get today?
You look at that like Big Black Cheerleaders 14 and
that's
shit.
That's hilarious.
Greasy Black Butts 5 and shit. Like those are real series. Like Black Cheer. What I tripped on is how they came with. It went from Black Cheerleaders 1, 2 to like Black Cheerleader 68. Like what the fuck?
Like what happened to the rest of the series?
Other fucking series. And then maybe like 20 years later, you might see 2 or 3 like on the site. You'd be like, damn, this was like Black Cheerleaders 44.
Oh my gosh.
But so that's just, I'm old school when it was actually still porn stars.
Right.
Like but now it's just people that do content.
Yeah.
And they just either do their OnlyFans or just be smashing like.
On camera.
They just get a contract with a certain company and do their thing. So
yeah.
That's my picks, my 3 picks.
His picks were very, very exclusive. Okay? We had some exclusive picks tonight.
Innovative.
You guys, innovative, okay? Look, we appreciate you coming on our show today, man. I had a good time with you, man.
Thanks for having me.
And man, I appreciate it. If you guys ever want to get in touch with Tony Gramz, man, you guys go ahead and hit up his Instagram, do all that stuff, man. Stay tuned in. If you want to get tuned in with me, Annie B, hit me up at www.what'syourfade on all platforms, or just What's Your Fade on all platforms.
That's right.
Man, remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know what I mean? Come on, give me some followers. Let's do this.
Let's get it.
All right, we'll see you next time on Speak On It, Chop It Up Barbershop Talk.
Hey.